So, again, I want to get this in chronological order. You left your practice and to be an assistant magistrate. But, I still can't get into my head, if I had 18 years of solo practice, I would go for a judgeship, but you didn't. And so you chose to be an assistant to the clerk magistrate, and then after you were there 8 months, you decided to apply for a judgeship, correct? Okay, so, what was the time interval between that time that you didn't get the appointment and you reapplied? It was September. When was that?
I want to say, the last administration, the final nominations for the regions down in Region 1 and 2, my geographical area, I think were around September or October of 2014. So this application was filed when we opened, I think the deadline was September 2015.
So, when you looked around, when you were leaving your private practice, was there, the judgeships that were open were not in your area, or what was it?
Yes, I believe that.
They were not in your area. Okay, so we did time standards, law requirements, court reporters, discretion of judges, and what legislation does, prevent a judge from using their discretion. We talk about police chiefs having the authority, which I hope that changes, and, or a gun permit. And, okay, I really think that I covered everything that I wanted to ask you. And I think, again, about children. I think children, their lives are just as valuable, probably more than an adult, and yet they're not getting the sentencing that these criminals that they deserve. And I think that sexual predator that you represented, raping 10 years and taking that from his daughter's life, 10 years isn't enough. I just can't understand it. Could that have been, could it have been, was a judge prevented from giving more of a sentence? He has the alternative, as you said.
The judge certainly could have given more of a sentence. Again, it was over 10 years, it was between, it might have been 10 to 12 years, or around 12 years, something like that. But the judge could have given it.
And when you choose, as a private, practitioner, you choose these cases, I mean, how do you defend someone like that?
Well, so half of my practice, people came in and hired. The other half of my practice was court-appointed work. So in the court-appointed work, they're actually appointed. I'm not sure I understand.
I asked you, when you decided to take that case for this sexual predator who raped his daughter from a child to, she was in college and she didn't want to go home. Yeah, it just sickens me to even talk about it, and her friend. So, you actually won him half of it because he didn't get accused of the friend, but he got accused of the,
So, well, when people, I believe in the judicial system. I think it works. It's a checks and balance system. I think everybody is entitled to representation. That's what's guaranteed for the Constitution. So when people came in and they needed an attorney and needed representation, they needed to hire me. I was appointed to represent them. And with every client, whether they were privately clients or appointed clients, I would represent them. That's my ability.
Did you find any difficulty looking at this young woman that her whole life was ruined, that her quality of life would have to do it?
Some cases are more difficult than others. I agree with your cases. Again, it's was my job, my obligation to represent the best of my ability.
Well, I think I've asked you every issue that I have, and that's that's all I want to know, coming back here at this time, was mainly about the choice of going to an assistant or magistrate after being a solo practitioner for 18 years. And I don't understand why it took till 10, 11 o'clock at night. I don't understand that part of it.
I wish, as I look back, I had a very busy office. I had two secretaries, sometimes one secretary, sometimes two secretaries. As you indicated, I have to pay for the lights, I have to pay for the secretaries, the clients come in, and it's, I hate to sound cliche, but it's a snowball.
But wasn't the loss of pay to go to from private practice?
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. As I indicated earlier, money's not everything. Having a good family life and having a well-balanced life, that came to my thought process in 2013. I would tell you that I want to be competitive. My father was ill, a young child. When I was young growing up, my father was around. He was working. And he had to work. And I understood that. And I didn't want that same relationship with my
No, it's a difficult thing. I went through it out in my mouth 17 years. It was nothing worse than Alzheimer's. I didn't want to talk about that part. But anyway, I've asked everything I want, Counselor, so I thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Iannella.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon. I'm having a difficult time getting the fact of how and why you applied to be a district court judge. I listened to Kevin Reddington. It was great. And I applaud you. You're a real family man. It's real important. It's real important. Take care or see your parents more frequently, that's commendable. To be with your kids as much as you can, that's commendable. And I applaud you for that. But what I don't understand, and this has nothing to do with whether or not you're going to be a good judge or a bad judge if you confirm, but I'm having a hard time understanding it. First of all, I'm in private practice like you were for 18 or so years. If you want to go on vacation, if you just don't feel like going in today, you want to go late, you can do it in private practice. You can't do it as a judge. You can't come in late today. So I'm trying to get a sense, I'm getting the impression that you think that being a judge, at least hours-wise, is a lot easier than being in private practice. Just hours-wise. I'm not getting into the work private. Is that his assessment?
Well, when I had my office, I certainly worked. Vacations were very limited. When I was on vacation, probably well aware, the phone was constantly ringing. In Hershey Park, and the phone was ringing, and clients, etc. At that point in my life, I wanted to change. The assistant clerk position, as I indicated, the position is almost 3 different components of it, and it's a tremendous job. It is a good job, but I don't think that the job is the proper fit. I was always a courtroom lawyer, litigator, and
I'm sorry, what was the job that was not right there?
the assistant court magistrate job.
I couldn't get
I was always a courtroom lawyer, litigator, and I want to say maybe 70% of the day, or the week, I may be in the courtroom simply calling cases, marking the docket sheet of the next court. So, and I understand that it's a good job, it's a necessary job, but I really want to do more. I want to expand my service. Attorney Reddington alluded to this. There were a number of people that came to me and said to me when I took the clerk magistrate's job, said, Doug, you as a busy practice, what do you want to do this? And I explained to them, I hope I explained it meaningful enough to them, I got there, I realized, as I indicated in my opening statement, that it's just not the proper fit for me. I really, really do enjoy the quasi-judicial aspect of the job. When I preside over, decide civil motor vehicle hearings, show cause hearings, small claims hearings, but that probably amounts to 5 hours of work. And as far as the hours, I work, I'm on call at night, weekends, bail duty when people are arrested. The hours of working, I'm not afraid of that. I've done that, so I'm not seeking to be an associate justice in the district court because it's a 9 to 4:30 job. Because the way I do things, it's longer than that. I prepare everything, I read everything, I'm very compassionate about what I do and how I do it. So I would not anticipate, nor do I foresee, if confirmed by this council, that I just do the minimum required as an associate justice. I think I would probably work harder than anyone I've seen. I like to read cases ahead of time. I mean, I'm not even the judge in the courtroom. When on a Friday, when it's a motion day, on Thursdays, I pick up the files, I read the motions, I read the memorandums of law. It interests me. It's exciting to me. That's what my passion is. And if confirmed, I would certainly do the same thing. Do the research, make decisions, write memorandums. I see a lot of judges now, in the margin, they write a lot of deny. I see it's probably the minority. Some judges write decisions. Probably in the minority, they write decisions that are well thought out.
I get it. Let me ask this, if you want to, I would have no problem, I wouldn't keep harping on this if you initially said, you know what, I did 18 years in private practice. I was burnt out. You know what, I had enough of it. It wasn't the time, it wasn't the kids, it wasn't the family. I had enough of it. I wanted to be a judge, it was my lifelong. I get that. But again, with all due respect, you hear Reddington, and you put it over and over. It seems to me you have so much more time. I'm in private practice, so much more time if you're in private practice as opposed to a judge. So that's what I'm coming. I don't understand family. Guess what? You know where do you live? Rehoboth. What's the farthest away? What region? 1 or 2? 1. What's the farthest away you can travel? Well, first of all, let's go back to the district court. How far away is that? 25 minutes? How long is it to Orleans Court? Hour and a half? Okay, so here we go. An hour and a half in the morning, an hour and a half in the afternoon. This is a guy who wants this job because you know what? The family, I want to spend more time with my kids, growing up. I didn't have that. My parents, totally, I love that. But it's hard for me to really think that's the real answer. And I know, Judge, in the beginning, you're going 2 hours here, and you're going 2 hours on the way back. And some of those judges aren't writing decisions. You're going to be in the minority. When are you going to do that? You're going to stay an hour after? You're going to get home later than you ever did your whole life. So that's what helped me out here. You think maybe you overstated that this? I mean, I'm getting the impression I can't do the private practice because I'm not able to be with my family, vacations and my kids. To me, I think you overstated, because I think the job of a judge is really difficult and it's time consuming. But I'll give you a chance.
I'm not talking really about the quantity of hours, but maybe the quality of hours. I wouldn't have a problem driving, an hour to a court or staying up late writing a decision. Part of what I said earlier, my decision to change and get out of private practice was twofold. Like I said, quality of life change. There is a burnout factor. When I take my family to Hershey Park and we're waiting online, and it's our turn to get on the roller coaster, and my cell phone's ringing from 2 different clients, it really becomes a quality time issue. I'm certainly not afraid of